Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Gratitude Incarnate podcast. I'm your host, Amanda Rose, and this is the Daily Divine Download. So, as you guys know, I bring you these messages every day, to inspire you, to encourage you, and to just help you along this journey of having gratitude in your life, and creating a life of positivity. That's what you get when you focus on gratitude. It's just a great side effect from gratitude is the positive changes that come into your life. And it's not always easy. And that's why I'm here, because there's no guidebook for life. There's no book that tells you this is what you do when these circumstances come up, and this is what will help. There's plenty of self-help books. Don't get me wrong, okay? But when we are born on this planet, we don't receive a guidebook or a manual that goes along with our life. It just doesn't work like that. But there are people like myself and tools like this podcast that are here to help you along that journey. Okay, so today what I want to talk to you about is what transpired yesterday. So when we do things, when we start these projects, like this project I started with producing and hosting this podcast, we are not always going to have support from everyone in our lives. That's just how it goes sometimes, We're all connected, but we're not all on the same journey together. And sometimes people meet us in our journey later on, So someone that might not support you today may support you tomorrow. So what happened was yesterday I was out with my grandmother. She got into a car accident last week. She's okay. Her car, not so much. I'm so happy and grateful that my grandmother walked away from that accident basically unharmed. Whenever we get into a car accident, it does take a toll on our bodies. Even if we don't see any physical injuries, it just kind of jerks us around and pushes us around, and it does take a toll on our bodies that we typically don't feel until, the next day or couple of days. But she is all right, and she is safe and sound. But she does not have the independence that she normally has, because her car needs to be taken to the shop and fixed. So I've just been helping her out. I'm so happy and grateful that I get to do that as her granddaughter. My grandmother and I have a very, very special relationship and a special bond that we've had ever since, I was a little kid. So she's just really special to me. And whenever we're out, doing errands and things like that, we just chit chat about things. And we've been talking about her coming on my podcast and doing an episode about numerology. If you don't subscribe to the podcast, you probably don't know about that. I made that announcement in a special subscription only episode. Definitely make sure you're checking that out, you guys. Just follow the link in the top of the show notes to subscribe to the podcast. So, her and I have been planning a special episode for subscribers to talk about numerology. And it's so funny she's messaging me right now. So, anyway, like I said, we're very connected. So anyway, she's telling me that she wants to come on the podcast, and she's getting really excited about it. She's getting really interested in podcasting and learning as much as she can. So she has the idea now that she wants to start a podcast, and I'm really excited about this. She has so much knowledge and wisdom to share with the world about what she's experienced in her life and what she's learned. And numerology, in my opinion, is a special gift that my grandmother was given to help people and to guide them. And it's just really exciting. So we were talking about this, and she was telling me about when she told her cousin about my podcast. Now, this is like her second cousin or something like that. She's about my age. She's not my grandmother's age. So she's like, aware of what podcasts are and things like that. And she was not supportive. That's just the best way I can put it. She had a lot of not so positive feedback about the podcast. Now, I wasn't there to hear this firsthand, but at first when I heard it, it kind of hurt me a little bit, like I pour so much of who I am and what I have to offer into this podcast every day. And to hear someone say things that don't align with how I feel about the work that I've done, it kind of hurt my feelings a little bit. And then I thought about it. You know what? I am so happy and grateful for this feedback. Why? Why would I be happy and grateful for this feedback? You might be wondering that. Well, for one thing, she listened to it. That's one of my goals for this podcast, is to have people listen. And I don't expect every single person that listens to like my voice, or to like the projection of my voice, or to like what I have to say, or to appreciate the messages, or to appreciate how I live my life. We can't expect everyone to appreciate what we do all the time. We can't expect everyone to agree with what we do or to like what we do. And that's just the way the world is. Now, I work every day to attract people into my life that do vibe with what I do. And this is probably why this knowledge came to me secondhand, because what she's feeling and what she's vibing doesn't vibe with me. Positive people don't necessarily attract negative people unless those negative people are ready to become more positive people, and vice versa. Positive people don't typically attract negative people unless that's where they're wanting to go. If you're complaining, you're going to attract that. It's the law of attraction. We've talked about it before, and we've talked about manifesting before. But the whole point of all of this is just to remind you that not everybody is going to support what you do all the time. And if you've ever done a job in direct sales, your family is like the last group of people that's going to support you on that endeavor. They're going to wait for everybody else to see how that went, and then they'll hit you up and be like, okay, I think I'll try that. So that's the thing. And, who knows? Maybe my grandma's cousin has like some issues of her own that she's not working through. And sometimes when people are going through that, they tend to project those insecurities onto other people and what they're doing. And unfortunately, that's just a tool that our current paradigm uses to make people feel better about themselves. Okay. That's okay though. That's a part of her journey. And I'm grateful to be where I'm at on my journey. And I'm grateful that there are people out there on a similar journey to me who listen to this podcast and appreciate what I do and how I do it and why I do it. So don't let that stuff stop you. Okay. Whatever your passion project is, whatever you're working on, whatever you're doing, don't let the naysayers stop you. Don't let any negative influence come in to your little bubble of what you're doing. Okay. Yeah, she said that, but guess what? I'm still here recording this podcast because I know that this message is important to you and to other people too. Okay. So I'm going to keep showing up to do that every day. And I want to encourage you to do the same thing. Whatever that project is for you, keep showing up every day. And we can look at the feedback that we get from other people and decide okay, do I want to take this feedback and use it? Or do I want to just say, okay, thank you for your sharing. Have a grateful day. We get to decide what we do. So decide today to keep following your dreams, regardless of what other people say. You can do it. You got this. You're amazing. You desired to do this for a reason, okay? You desire your desires because they desire you. And that's what I'm going to leave you with today. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for supporting me. And even if you don't like this podcast, thank you for listening. Have a grateful day.